the house, someone went wrong with the well.
No, that's the worst. I remember.
I was surprised I got here on time because I was
Really?
waiting for the well people to show up.
Oh man, I remember one morning I woke up and my wife was the first into the shower and she's like, "Zach, there's no hot water." We were like, "Oh, what's going on there?" We walked downstairs, just water everywhere, hot water heater.
In your new house or your
old house thing? I was like, "Oh," and I remember like, I'm still gonna shower. So I showered, took a super cold shower, and actually we discovered there was a leak going on too in the pipes, which was not good. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that today. We are going to dive into our two sessions today. One is on for sale by owners and expireds, and the other one is on agent-to-agent referrals. And I'm actually pretty pumped and excited to talk about both, but this one's going to be interesting, agent-to-agent referrals. Especially with the development of the new Keller-Williams referral network. So that'll be another interesting thing to talk about in relation to that. So without further ado, let's dive into Power Session 8 for sale by owners and expireds. Page 6. Gene Rivers, phenomenal agent out of Florida, great trainer. He's actually going to be teaching up here in the region in a month or two. Highly recommend you attend if you can. He's going to be teaching about listings. One second, let me make sure I turn this off. Gene describes his lead generation activities as prospecting based and marketing enhanced, which we've talked about. In the spring of 2007, his listing specialists were actively pursuing 120 for sale by owners. FSBOs and expireds account for approximately 10% of his business, with approximately one closing per week. He can stay in touch with a lot of prospects because he follows the model. Gene's success comes in a large part from helping FSBOs with their problems. Sometimes they don't even know they have a problem, and Gene is an expert at buying and selling homes, so he knows how to, and I underline this, how to provide value. If you come to a for sale by owner conversation or an expired listing conversation with a perspective or mindset of you're simply going to see how you can provide them value or contribute to them or help to solve their problem, it becomes a much more productive conversation, and they begin to see value in working with you as an agent. So he knows how to provide value and demonstrate that he can help them achieve their goals. While helping home sellers, Gene increased his market share from 3.6 to 8.6% in 1 year. A 5% increase in a year. That's pretty remarkable. That's the power of being disciplined in lead generation, following the system, and using effective prospecting strategies. Okay, page 9. A for sale by owner or FSBO is a homeowner who chooses to sell a home without the assistance of a real estate professional. Most often, these sellers are motivated by the lure of netting more money in the transaction. They're just trying to save some money, right? That's kind of the idea behind it. Many agents rush to the conclusion that someone who is trying to sell on their own just isn't interested in working with an agent, which isn't necessarily the case. Myth number 1. FSBOs don't want to deal with real estate agents. Well, here's the truth. Only 8% of FSBOs say they don't want to deal with the real estate agent. Go to the next page, page 10. Market share. FSBOs comprise a small portion of home sales. But to properly understand their market share, let's take a moment to discuss how NAR classifies FSBOs in general. The NAR profile of home buyers and sellers shows there are 2 distinct categories of FSBOs. One category is closed to real estate agents, while the second category provides ample opportunity for business. So let's talk about the first one, closed market FSBOs. First type of FSBO population comprises private transactions that occur within families or between friends where the home is never listed, right? Essentially, you two ladies kind of know each other in town. Debbie, you know you get ready to look to sell your home. You call Heather and say, hey, I know you've been looking to buy a place. Would you want to buy mine? Right? It's a done deal. The job of us as real estate agents is to bring the transaction together. Well, that one's already been brought together. There's really no role for us in that transaction unless it's to simply help with the paperwork, which we can do oftentimes for a reduced fee. I've done that before. Still a phenomenal way to do business. But we have to understand that sometimes there are just properties trading hands out there. You know, there's just no room for us in that transaction. There's no need for an agent to either market the house or search for a qualified buyer. However, many of these private exchanges still involve real estate agents because agents are skilled at handling details of transactions. They count roughly for 4% off home sales. So I want to say I've done at least one or two where I've simply facilitated. And here's a great thing, if you work with enough people, like I used to work with an investor when I first got in the business, we did several transactions together. Then as the market shifted and became more of a traditional market, meaning there were less of the investment opportunities that he was utilizing to fuel his business, he started creatively finding the homes on his own, so I couldn't help him buy, which is okay for some of them, but he came to me one day and said, Zach, here's the deal. I have a buyer, I've got this other property, we're trying to do this, I just need somebody that can do the paperwork. Would you be willing to do it for me since you've done it in the past? I was like, heck yeah, that's too easy. You know, I took one hour meeting with him and the other people, did some paperwork, and made $1,000 bucks. And man, I wish I could do that more. I didn't have the hassle, the expense of all this other stuff, spent an hour with these people, did some paperwork, boom, $1,000. I'll do that any day, all day long, right? But you have to understand that the only reason I was able to have that opportunity is because I had the relationship with him, and he knew that he could trust me to do the paperwork, and that I would be fair to make it happen. And oh, by the way, I recorded the sales in MLS too, which was kind of nice as well.
How'd you come up with $1,000?
Honestly, I would likely probably charge more to just do a simple facilitation, but because I had done so much business with them in the past, $1,000 seemed like a pretty good, reasonable fee to me. I don't know. At most, I spent a couple hours on it, so I was like, yeah, it seems more than fair for me. Okay. So, and another one I did, so I helped these people buy a home, very, very nice people, and they had a home to sell, but they kind of already found a buyer. And they wanted this buyer to buy their home contract for deed. I was like, oh my God, this sounds nuts. So I did something similar. I went to their house, I sat down with both of them, we walked and talked through the contract, I simply processed the paperwork and charged a fee. Right? It's easy to do, but sometimes we have to let people know that that's an option, right? If you're calling for sale by owners, or you're talking to somebody, and this will happen all the time, or let's say you've got a buyer that finds it for sale by owner, like, here's the deal, guys, that's cool. I can still help with the paperwork and charge a modest fee. You can still have some savings, Mr. or Mrs. for sale by owner, which is your goal. And I can make sure that the transaction is done professionally, all the T's are crossed and I's are dotted, that it actually gets put, that you guys can put up to a good title company and close it appropriately, etc. Right? Because there's still a lot of stuff. You two finding each other and settling on terms is only half the battle. There's still a bunch of other stuff that has to take place that you likely don't have a whole lot of knowledge of, right? Number two, open-minded for sale by owners. The second type of FSBO often involves owners who want to sell their homes themselves, but do not already have buyers lined up. These individuals need to do everything a real estate agent would do. And they often, obviously, don't have the same knowledge that we do. So they need to do the same things that we do without any knowledge or experience in how to do them. Let me give you another example. It's like somebody needing to perform surgery on themselves and never have gone to medical school. It's like somebody needing to represent themselves in the court of law, yet having no training in law, right? That's okay. You can do that, right? And so it's, you know that in our court system, you can represent yourself, right? But what do most people do? Hire an attorney, right? Why?
Because they don't have the
Because you got a better chance of success. The same thing with real estate, right? Yeah, you can try to do it yourself, cool. You might find some success. Oh, by the way, but if you want it done right, you want to hedge your bets, protect yourself, and have the best chance at success, hire a professional. They need to list and market the house, show it to potential buyers, negotiate a contract, handle the paperwork if they find a buyer. The National Association of Realtors report says these transactions account for about 9% of all home sales. So that's an interesting statistic. About 10% of all home sales on an annual basis are for sale by owner transactions. That's a decent chunk of the market, meaning there's opportunity for us. Of the 13% of homes that sell without the assistance of the seller's agent, approximately 1/3 occur between a buyer and seller who know each other. Those transactions are never really open or available to prospecting sellers and agents. However, these sellers still sometimes seek the help of an agent to deal with that transaction. Page 11, mindset. Many FSBOs are trying to save money by not paying a listing agent's commission, while other for sale by owners have had a bad experience with the agent in the past, so they don't want to work with one. Whatever their reasons are, they are a good source for leads because you know they're serious about selling their homes. And we're going to talk about some creative approaches you can take to work with for sale by owners. The chart on page 11 is pretty interesting. It comes from NAR. Most important reason for selling their home on their own, 47% didn't want to pay a commission. It's about half, okay. Makes sense, I get that. 24% sold to a relative, friend, or neighbor. Okay, so we're about at 75% there. Either they want to save money or they already had a person in mind to buy. I get that. I get that. That makes sense. 15% the buyer contacted them directly. Maybe their home wasn't listed for sale and they weren't actively marketing it, but somebody just called and said, hey, what do you think about selling your home to me? I'd like to buy it. 8% didn't want to deal with an agent, so just 8% of people out there hate us. I don't know if the deal is there, but that's what it is. Number 4, an agent before was unable to sell their home, meaning they had it listed, it expired or canceled. The agent didn't get it done, so they thought this led to, hey, we're just going to list it ourselves and see what happens. The seller has a license or couldn't find a suitable agent, 1% respectively. It's a myth that FSBOs don't want to deal with real estate agents. Only 8% of them say they don't want to deal with an agent. So the flip side of that is a vast majority of for sale by owners do not mind working with an agent. In fact, many of them probably think at some point in the transaction, they're likely going to work with an agent. It may be in the capacity of a buyer's agent or maybe in the capacity of a facilitator who's simply helping with the paperwork. So we have to have that frame, our mindset. A lot of people are open to working with agents. We just need to figure out what it is that they need and offer it to them. The most common reason homeowners try to sell without an agent is they don't want to pay a commission. They believe this will allow them to net more money. Wake up call. If you don't use an agent to market your property and give it maximum exposure, yeah, you might save 3% on the commission, but you might have just lost 4 or 5% overall on what you could have got for the home had you hired a professional. So did you really come out ahead? The answer oftentimes is no. You actually shortchanged yourself because you got less for your home than you could have if you hired an agent that knows what they're doing. Demonstrating that you can allow homeowners to net the amount they need to make is a good strategy for gaining business. Important point to remember, FSBOs are motivated sellers. Most of the time, sometimes they're just crazy. They have essentially raised their hand and said, I need, or I'm willing, or I want to sell a house. Now, some people will simply put a home on the market at a price to see if they can get that price, right? Are they truly motivated? If somebody's just throwing a house on the market at a price because they want to see if they can get that price, are they motivated?
No.
That's the right answer. The answer is no. They're just fishing to see if they can get a particular price, right? So there are some of those do exist, and some of them are, not just limited to for sale by owners. But what we need to do is find the ones that are really motivated. A vast majority of them are, which means they're a huge opportunity for us. Page 12. When asked if they would try to sell their current home by themselves, FSBOs who had gone through the process previously were often uncertain. Approximately half of the sellers who did not know the buyer before the sale declared themselves willing to sell their home. Again, 21% were certain they would want to use an agent. So the chart on page 12 says how past for sale by owners will sell current home. 28% said they'll sell it themselves. 27% said they'll use a real estate agent. And 45% said they don't know. So roughly half are undecided and may be open to using an agent. And about 25% know that they're going to use an agent. About 25% say they'll sell themselves. That's past for sale by owner sellers. What's your takeaway on that?
Most people think it's not worth it to do it on their own for the money they save.
Absolutely. The takeaway there is there's a ton of opportunity. If 25% or if 27% know they're going to use an agent again, and another 50% are undecided, that means you got like 75% of people that have actually sold for sale by owner before who might very well likely be open to using an agent. So don't just discount them and say, oh, Well, I know that person, they sold their home themselves at one time, so they just don't work with agents. No, that's not the case. They'll likely be very open to it. You just have to have a conversation with them. It's important to understand that these NAR surveys results deal only with FSBOs who actually manage to complete a transaction or sell. Even among this group of successful do-it-yourselfers, the results indicate a certain degree of once is enough thinking. That was terrible. I'm definitely hiring an agent the next time. Add to this group the large group of FSBOs who tried and failed to sell their homes on their own, and the conclusion for lead generating real estate agents ought to be that FSBOs represent a very obvious and worthwhile market. They're a huge opportunity. Even those who don't want your help marketing may still want your help with the qualified buyer, closing, the paperwork, etc. Page 13. Expired and withdrawn listings. An expired listing is one that did not sell during its listing contract. So we sat down, Debbie, we signed a listing contract for 6 months. Here we are 6 months later, and the contract is expiring, meaning the home listed on MLS is expiring off, right? It's no longer going to be actively listed on the MLS. It's coming off websites, etc., or at least it should be. Oh, by the way, if you're coming up on the expiration date of a contract, can you extend it?
Yes,
Yeah, how do you do that?
you just fill out an amendment.
Absolutely. So, hey, we're coming up on our 6-month expiration date. What I'd like to do is, have that extended and maybe reduce the price as well, right? In most cases, talking about expireds, the owners are still interested in selling. Although those who have had their house on the market for a long time may be tired of the effort and want to take a break. It is wise to find out why a homeowner thinks their house did not sell. It's possible the homeowner bears their share of responsibility for the lack of sale. What could that look like?
They have the house price too high.
Price too high, they never make it available for showings. When they do make it available for showings, the house is in disarray and just terrible, right? The owner may be clinging to an unrealistic idea of what the house is worth, or they may be unwilling to adequately prep the home so it looks good to potential buyers. Whatever the case, you need to know why the owner thinks the house did not sell in order to determine whether this is a person that you want as a customer. Am I dealing with crazy McGee over here, who's not going to be worth my time, energy, effort, and money? Or is this a reasonable person who understands why it didn't sell, and I can sit down across the table from them and likely have a successful transaction? In addition, if you want the listing, you need to be able to describe how you will do things differently from the previous agent. Usually the biggest difference that needs to occur is a change in price. Sometimes you're not always open to that, but other times you'll find they're more open to it than you think because they know it didn't sell for a reason. Well, the reason is price. One potential advantage of expired listings over for sale by owners is that the owners have already indicated they need to sell and they're willing to pay a commission. However, you may face challenges based on the previous experience with the last listing agent. The awesome thing about expireds and cancels or withdrawals is the fact that, yes, like for sale by owners, they've raised their hand and said they want to sell, but unlike for sale by owners, they've indicated they're willing to work with an agent to pay a commission. That's huge. They just hired the wrong person the first time, so you can call them and say, hey, you hired the wrong person the first time, let's sit down. You should interview me for the job, I'll get it done for you. Withdrawn listings. A withdrawn or canceled listing has been pulled from the market before the listing contract expires. The owners may have changed their mind and no longer plan to sell, but they also may have become frustrated with the process or their agent and remain highly motivated to sell. They just want to fire their person potentially. In some MLSs, withdrawn status may be temporary due to illness, vacation, or a whole host of other issues, and the listing may still belong to an agent. Page 14. Why homes do not sell. What do you think are the 3 main reasons a house doesn't sell? These are blank on your page, right? What do you think are the 3 main reasons?
The price.
That's number 1. And usually, that's the only issue. What are a couple others?
Location sometimes.
Absolutely, it could be. What else?
The setup of the house.
It's in poor condition. What's the last one? Not marketed well. Those are the three big things. Number one of the three main reasons a house does not sell is it was overpriced. Number two, poor condition. Number three, not marketed well. It doesn't matter what kind of home you have, what condition it's in, what kind of location it's in, etc. Price can always overcome those factors. If you price it right, somebody will buy it. Everything has to do with price. If you have a client who's frustrated, or you know somebody who's frustrated and their home is not selling, one of my first questions is, well, how long has it been on the market? Well, it's been on 2 weeks, a month. Okay, well, here's the deal. You're overpriced. If you were priced right, you would have sold by now. This is a non-emotional conclusion. I love you to death. Your home is a beautiful home, but what the market is, this isn't coming from me. What the market is telling you is that your price too high. Because if you weren't, it would have been found already, right? It's the quickest way to solve that problem. With expired and withdrawn listings, the homeowners are often more motivated than before to sell. After all, they wanted to sell months ago. The challenge is to convince them you would do a better job than their previous agent. Before making contact, however, find out for sure the listing has actually expired or been withdrawn. If it hasn't, then you can't go after it, right? And here's the deal. With some of the scripts and stuff that we teach you, you're already going to be better prepared than their previous agent. They're going to realize, holy crap, I should have hired this person from the get-go. Be mindful of the do not call list. If somebody happens to be on a do not call list, then you probably don't want to call them. Page 17, limiting beliefs. Many real estate agents make little, if any, effort to generate business from FSBOs and expires. Part of the reason is that many agents mistakenly believe the only approach to working with FSBOs and expired or withdrawals is to call them first thing in the morning and aggressively pressure them into listing with you. Many agents shy away from that kind of forceful prospecting and still find success. Myth number two, you can only succeed with FSBOs and expireds by being aggressive and direct. Well, here's the truth. You can win with FSBOs and expireds by coming from contribution, establishing trust, staying in touch, and demonstrating value. Anyone can find a comfortable way to work with FSBOs and expireds. You already know they want to sell a home. Smart agents capitalize on this motivation. Even if these homeowners sell on their own, there are many ways you can still win with them. For example, they may become your next buyer. When you provide value and make the process easier for them, you're providing a great service. When you respect them and ask how you can help, you increase your chance of tapping into a greater opportunity. I cannot discount the potential that exists, especially with a for sale by owner, to help them purchase their next property. Hey, this is Zach over at Keller Williams calling you because I saw you have your home listed for sale by owner. You can rest assured right now, take it easy. I'm not calling you to list your home. What I'm actually wondering is, what do you plan to do once you sell your home? I specialize in helping buyers. And oh, by the way, to help you buy a home, I do that absolutely free. It's at no cost to you. What are you looking for in your next property? What's your timeline? Awesome. I'd love to be the one to help you. It's a much easier conversation. And then as you get in their good graces, if they still struggle to get their home sold, well, maybe they'll naturally turn to you to get it done for them, because you've built a relationship and established trust and demonstrated value. Page 19, the opportunity. Efficiencies and similarities. Some lead generation activities allow you to meet larger numbers of people in a short period of time, and also to meet people who are inclined to conduct business sooner rather than later. It's hard to imagine, for example, how you could use your time more efficiently than by picking up the telephone. And if you use those phone calls to talk with people already committed to selling their home, FSBOs, expireds, you're probably operating as productively as you can. If you're going to make 20 contacts a day and talk to people on a daily basis about selling real estate or real estate transactions, it would probably make sense to prioritize people that have demonstrated they want something, they have something to sell. FSBOs and expireds are often grouped together by real estate agents when they talk about lead gen. There are a few reasons for this. Number one, they are business-ready leads. These are people who want to sell a house or they have announced to the world one way or the other they intend to do a real estate transaction. Number two, most agents prospect each group in a similar fashion, such as calling them during the daily lead gen. Number three, you have solutions to their problems. You can help them sell, hold open houses, find qualified buyers, you can save them time, price a house to sell, reduce their hassle by handling the administrative work, and help them negotiate the best possible deal. Page 20. Reasons to pursue FSBOs and expires. There are 4. Number 1, it takes little money. Number 2, it takes little time. Number 3, they're easy to find. And number 4, like we've talked about before, they're motivated to sell. Takes little time or money, they're easy to find, and a demonstrated motivation. It's about as simple as it gets for wanting to focus on a piece of business or a certain niche. Page 21, ways to win. Adapting how you approach FSBOs and expireds to your personal style begins with understanding that there are many ways to get business from these leads. The opportunities vary from one seller to another. 6 ways to win. Number 1, get the listing, or find a buyer for the house, or help the seller buy a new home, or refer the seller to another agent if they're buying a home out of town. 5, meet the potential buyer and seller customers by offering to host an open house. Yes, you can offer to hold an open house for sale by owner. That's completely fine. I would check first to make sure they're willing to pay a buyer agent commission. But what's the harm in doing it? You might get their home sold, you're gonna establish a great relationship, maybe they'll actually hire you to sell it for real. And oh, by the way, you're gonna put yourself in kind of a ton of buyer prospects when you hold that thing open.
So something I found here in Rochester is we don't get a ton of people looking at open houses.
That would surprise me. And I don't believe it for a second. I think you might see varying results depending upon different homes and open houses and how opens are marketed. What makes you say that?
From the different open houses that I've held.
Are you holding them open when they're brand new to the market?
Some of them have been on the market maybe a month or more.
So those are the ones you probably have little to no attendance at. You gotta look at your price point, you gotta look at when they're coming onto the market, you gotta look at, am I timing this with a recent price reduction? You gotta look at what are the marketing efforts we did to lead up to the open? Did we get some signage out there? Because I know for a fact, January, February, we've seen an unreal amount of people at open houses because the inventory is so short, they've only got a few homes to go to. Number 6, help the seller write up business if the seller finds a buyer, or a negotiated commission, of course. Page 22. So we're going to talk about 2 different approaches you can utilize for sale by owners. One is a direct approach, one is the indirect approach. So the first one on page 22 is the direct approach. Direct, aggressive agents tend to want to be the first ones who call or visit a FSBO or expired. They seek to have a one-on-one conversation with them as soon as possible. When it comes to working with FSBOs and expired listings, Diana Kokoska favors the direct approach. Be honest and straightforward with people she feels, and they will learn to trust you. First, however, she'll ask for permission. Do you want me to be honest with you? Most people say yes, and she grants her wish. Diana also favors the call them first and call them often approach. She would call newly expired listings between 7 and 8 in the morning, which gave her the best chance of catching them before they went to work. One of the most frequent answers she heard from prospective sellers when she asked what they planned to do next to sell their house was that they planned to continue working with the same agent. Her response after getting permission to be honest was to say, you know, some people say that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting to get different results. So I'm curious, what is your agent going to do this time they didn't do the last time? If the seller says that they were thinking about interviewing other agents, she would say, great, because she was there ready to be interviewed. If they said they'd already chosen another agent, she would say, great, but if your doctor told you you needed surgery, wouldn't you get a second opinion? This is financial surgery that you're getting into. You got a lot of money tied up in your home. Let's get together tonight so I can give you a second opinion. If she didn't get an appointment the first time around, Diana would continue to contact these potential customers until she got an appointment or until they told her to stop. Taking this direct approach is tough for many because it means asking questions so they self-discover their agent didn't give them the best service rather than telling them that. But Diana found that her aggressive style resulted in increased business, and at the end of the day, she and her new customers benefited. That was a direct approach. Page 23, the indirect approach. Some agents feel more comfortable putting in additional time and effort that go along with the indirect approach. Jean Grubb out of Austin, Texas took the indirect approach to working with FSBOs. She says, I never asked for the listing. Instead, she used a modified 8x8, which she completed in 2 weeks. That time frame was important because her experience taught her that most for sale by owners were ready to give up within 2 to 3 weeks of trying to sell their houses themselves. That would be an important nugget of knowledge I would filter away in my head. Most for sale by owners tend to get tired of trying to sell their home on their own after 2 to 3 weeks. Or after 2 to 3 weeks, they at least discover it's not going to be as easy as they thought it was going to be. Jean's strategy is as follows. Make an appointment to preview the home, preview the house. While doing so, look for something she can help out with later. Write a note thanking the owner for allowing her to preview the home. Act on the information she gathered in number 2 to provide some form of help to the homeowner, aka provide value. A flyer with relevant statistics or a tip sheet on fixing up the house. She tried to tailor it to the needs of the particular person, and she would deliver it in person. Number 5, show the house. If she had a potential buyer, the homeowner had indicated they are willing to pay a buyer commission. Offer to host an open house. She would explain that since she was looking for buyers in general, the homeowner was looking for a specific buyer, they could both benefit. She did this only if the homeowner was willing to pay a buy-side commission. If at this point they were not willing to pay the commission, she would move on without pushing the matter. Number 7, offer to advertise the house on her website. If they agreed, she would advertise the house as a FSBO and include the price, general location, but not the address. To gather information, a prospective buyer would need to contact Jean directly. Why might she do that? How does that make sense?
So that you get all the leads.
Absolutely, so I get all the buyer leads, right? If the FSBO gives me permission to advertise the property, great, I will do that, but I won't include the address, and anybody that calls off of it now has the potential to be converted to a client of mine. Because let's be honest, you might get 10 phone calls, and if you're lucky, only one of them actually wants to buy that property. If they do, great, and the person's already indicated they'll pay you a buy-side commission, awesome, you just made money. In the meantime, you got 9 other leads that are looking for homes that you can continue to follow up with and work with, right? That's how it's a win-win. Number 8, send or drop off another flyer with some personalized information about the local market. Jean liked to keep FSBOs she was working with informed of homes that had sold in the area. This gave her the opportunity to talk about what other houses sold, but the FSBO was still on the market. So basically, you're kind of showing, hey, yeah, well, these other homes are finding success. You're kind of politely reminding them of what's going on in the market, other homes that are selling, and helping them realize it's not just the market. That's not why you're not selling, because other homes are selling. Maybe we should have a conversation about what we can do to get yours to sell. On occasion, if a FSBO asked her why another house had sold, and if the house was still pending, taking backups maybe, she would take the customer and take a look at the house. In summary, if her timing was right, as it often was, and the homeowners were starting to tire of handling the job themselves or realizing they weren't getting the results they thought they were going to get, she would often take the listing without even ever asking for it. A perfect example of winning big with an indirect approach. So you've seen kind of a direct way, you've seen an indirect way. You can kind of decide which way it may or may not work for you. The bottom line is pick an approach and implement it and stick to it consistently, if these are segments of business you desire to pursue. Page 24. Quote by Gary Keller: "People don't succeed because they naturally do what they like or what works immediately. They succeed because they don't give up." Meaning they don't give up on the habits they need to be doing in order to see the results that they desire. When he says because they don't give up, he means because they're not giving up on consistent lead generation, right? Persistence. In some markets, new FSBOs and expired listings are inundated with phone calls and visits from real estate agents. It's important to remember that the homeowners may not be interested in doing business with you the first time you contact them. Many agents make the mistake of not following up. Research shows that 50% of the agents will not follow up after the first week. I bet it's even more. It's a vast majority. I was one of those guys. I would make one phone call. If I didn't see an immediate opportunity, I never called them again. The only people I followed up with were people that I had, raised some hope for. The drop-off is constant, and after the fourth week, virtually no other real estate agent will be checking up with the homeowner. The persistent real estate agent is the one who will get the business, right? If after weeks 3 or 4, most agents are dropping off in terms of their follow-up, well, what did we just learn a couple pages ago? How long is it until people finally kind of start thinking, maybe this isn't for me? Yeah, 2 to 3 weeks. So you literally have all of the agents stopping their follow-up at the actual critical moment that people start realizing, hey, maybe I should hire an agent. Follow-up is key. With FSBOs, being persistent is even more important than being the first agent to contact them. Interesting. With FSBOs, being persistent is even more important than being the first agent to contact them. Which means this: if you have a late start to your morning because your water didn't turn on, you're normally into the office by 8 lead generating, but you couldn't get in until 10 or 11. Don't just say, oh, well, I'm not going to call any of the for sale by owners that are expired today because clearly they've already been called. No. Stick with it, call them, then call them again the next day and the day after that, or however, whatever your process looks like to have the follow-up, to win that battle. Don't just discount. One of the best ways to follow up with FSBOs is to put them on a systematic marketing action plan, such as an 8x8. This could be a regular one, or an accelerated one, or a custom-made, tailored one specific to them. Supply them with helpful information, demonstrate your experience and success as a home seller, let them hear from you regularly, and you will be on a short list of agents. Quite possibly, frankly, the only person that they'll call when they're ready to sell. Page 25. Brad out of North Carolina reports that 1 year he had multiple transactions with a sales value over 1.1 million from an expired listing he had called weekly for a couple of years. I mean, that's insane. You've been calling this guy weekly for years. 1.1 million. What kind of GCI do you make off of 1.1 million sales volume? What's roughly
30,000.
Roughly 30,000, right? About roughly 30,000 per million in volume, right? This guy made roughly 30 grand because he followed up with for sale by owner over a couple of years. Let's read more about that. The volume might not seem like a big deal, but when you take into account the average sale price is $250 in this market, that's not bad. Brad contacted the owner by phone 41 times over 2 years. On those calls, he left 38 messages. Spoke with the owner 3 times. Brad eventually got the appointment and the listing. He also got an additional lot next door. In 2 weeks, he sold the property that had been on the market for a year prior. In addition, he sold the customers one of his team's listings. He's positive that he was the only agent left calling, and it paid off. 41 phone calls to make 30 grand. Phone calls on average probably less than 30 seconds because some of them he was just leaving a message. Is that worthwhile? Absolutely. Is it painstakingly boring and mundane?
Nope.
Absolutely. But hey man, I'll be boring for a little while to make 30 grand. About consistency. About consistency and follow-up. Barriers. There can be reluctance to making calls, but once you make a habit of it, making the calls becomes easier. One idea is to make the things that give you a burning desire to better yourself at work be more important than your call reluctance. This is an interesting thing that Gary shares about himself that puts things in perspective. Gary Keller shares that He has a fear of rejection. However, his fear of failure is even stronger. So when he was growing his business, he did whatever it would take to be successful. He's got a fear of rejection. I think most people do. But his fear of failure was even greater. So fearing rejection was no big deal, because he knew it was something he had to do and able to find success. Page 26. The challenge for calling FSBOs and expired listings is to have confidence. I would agree with that. I'd say that sometimes, especially as a new agent, it's hard to call FSBOs and expireds because number one, you don't know what to say. You're afraid to start asking you questions. You don't know what to do. And you're afraid if you do get the appointment or you do get the listing, that you're not going to know what to do. That's okay. You just call me or you call Jim. Somebody will help you through it. Mindset. Set realistic expectations. Know what it takes to get someone to do business with you. Not everyone is going to accept your offer of assistance, and that is okay. Don't take it personal. Don't let it get you down. Don't let it be the reason why you stop lead generating. This is a numbers game. You got to talk to 10, 20 people to find one that wants to do business with you. Not everybody's going to want to. Usually because you're just not hitting them at the right time, and that's okay. Top agents have to make a lot of calls to get an appointment. Keep track of the number of calls you make, the number of conversations you have, and the number of appointments you set. That will give you a realistic expectation of the number of calls you need to make in order to reach your business goals. Gary Keller recalls that when he started working as a real estate agent, it was difficult to realize that he could work very hard and have no guarantee of taking home a check. He wanted to know what he had to do to make sure he could get paid. He read a Tom Hopkins book that said it took 100 contacts to find one person who would buy or sell a house with you. But even that large number gave him perspective and encouragement. He began measuring his success against it. The exact number does not matter because it's different for everyone, and there are a lot of variables. What you have to do is make enough calls to be able to determine your respective conversion rate. Then you know how many calls you need to make on average to achieve your goals. And you'll never know what that number is if you don't track. Don't let rejection get you down. Don't worry when you don't get an appointment. It's not that the homeowner doesn't like you. The person just isn't interested in what you're offering at that particular time. Top agents get rejected every day, so will you. I get rejected every day as a team leader. Here, if I didn't face rejection, every realtor in Rochester would be at our office. Right, it happens all the time. And it can be very nice and very professional. It can also be very maddening because I know, by God, we've got everything we need for you, and if only you could realize it. But it's okay. It's not a no forever. It's just a no for right now. There's plenty of people that I talked to last year that are calling me back this year and saying, Zach, you know what? You were right. I should have come. I should have took you up on your offer a year ago. What are you guys up to now? Come on down. Right? The same thing with expireds and for sale by owners. Debbie, you know, I'm glad you called me back. I know this is the 5th week in a row that you called, and quite frankly, the first week I was kind of rude to you. But here's the deal. I'm realizing it's not working. I'm ready to surrender and hire an agent to get the job done for me. Thank you for following up. Realize that this is a numbers game, and you'll likely hear plenty of no's before you get to a yes. But if you stick with it, you will get there. Remember that FSBOs choose to sell their home on their own, so the first reaction may very well be, I don't need you. What you know and they don't know is that it's difficult to sell a house. In a few weeks, they will be frustrated and much more anxious to make a sale. That's why you keep in touch, so you'll be there when they're ready to do business. Keep in mind that you will be getting better, and prospecting will get easier the more that you do it. Page 27, come from contribution. When you focus on how you can make the home seller's life better and easier, how you can solve their problem, you have the greatest chance of converting them to a customer. Don't make a sales pitch based on your need to close a transaction or how good you know or think you are. Think about the prospect's interests and focus on how you can help them. That's what will get you the business. For example, you might say, what can I help you with today? There are things to offer that would demonstrate to a prospect how you can help them. Number 1, knowledge of the market. Number 2, tips for selling the home. Number 3, tips for staging. It's offering expertise. Offering services. Some agents offer services in the hopes of building trust and eventually getting a listing. Many busy agents report they don't have the time to do this. It really is a matter of how much time you have and how much effort you're willing to invest in the prospect. Some agents find they really don't have to offer much in the way of services because if the homeowner is inclined to listen to them, they'll go ahead and do it. Here are some example services you could offer. Hold an open house. I love that one because it has the prospect of benefiting you as well. Provide pointers on holding an open house. Do a market analysis for them. Create a virtual tour. Do a financial pre-qual on potential buyers. If you want to be helpful, provide services. Do any of the things listed above, but do not give pricing information. Sometimes that's all I want to hear from you. If you tell them what they should price it at, just make it that much easier for them. Page 29, steps for working with FSBOs. All right, so now we're getting to some of the more mechanics behind it. There are 6 steps. Know what you're going to say, prepare materials to give them, create an 8x8 customized for FSBOs, set your goals, find them, organize your information on each listing. Number 1, know what you're going to say. Betty, out of Texas, knows what to say when she works with FSBOs and expires. She knows the most common objection and how to answer them. Common objections. Because she knows what to say, Betty is good at filtering prospects on her initial phone call. She sets appointments with only the best leads because you want to be protective of your time. If Betty wants to have someone as a customer, she converts the lead to a customer 85 to 90% of the time when she later has her consultation appointment. Tony DeSello recommends keeping scripts in front of you while you're on the phone to help you keep focused and on track. Extremely helpful. In addition to knowing what you want to say, you must be prepared to answer common questions and objections. Number 2, prepare materials to give them. Most top agents prepare information that is useful to home sellers. This helps establish their expertise and demonstrate value. Having something of value with your name on it keeps you foremost in the home seller's mind. Examples such as top 10 mistakes home sellers make. That's a great one to give. Agents typically have home selling pointers on their websites as well as in print version that you can leave with them as well. Page 30, sample home selling tips on agent sites. Get your home ready to sell. 10 steps to selling a home. Selling your home by yourself. 27 quick and easy fix-ups to sell your home fast and for top dollar. Here's an example from Ring the Rivers, Gene and his wife, what they have on their website. Page 31, FSBO packet. Much like a pre-list packet. It's a good idea to have a FSBO packet in print form that you can deliver to home sellers at or just after your first contact. You should have your FSBO packet with you at all times. When you drive past the FSBO, you'll be prepared to drop off your information and follow up with a call later. Checklist, testimonial, logo folder, cover sheet, seller disclosure info, bold disclosure, there's all kinds of stuff you can put in there. Think about what you want to include in your packet. This is information you provide before a seller becomes a customer. You don't want the seller to think that they've already gotten everything that you can provide, so you may want to let them know that you give your customers a list of service providers or some other additional value. A pre-list packet for FSBOs, which has a slightly different angle from the FSBO packet, may be a great thing to leave with them as well. And here are the things I can do for you if you decide to list your home for professional. Number 32, create a 8x8 that is customized for FSBOs. Makes a lot of sense. Here's an example. Touch 1, preview the property. Touches 2 and 3, send a postcard or a letter. Touch 4, make the call. Touches 5 and 7, send different postcards. Touch 8, make a call. It's a good quick mixture. And that gal before said that she tries to do her 8x8 in what period of time?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks. Hit them hard, hit them fast. Gene Rivers thought about the issues facing FSBOs and created a series of postcards he mails once a week for 8 weeks with the purpose of getting sellers to think about their current challenges. His system is consistent with Gary Keller's observation on FSBOs, and that is that people are looking at FSBO houses are predominantly buyers who aren't working with real estate agents. Buying and selling a house without the help of an agent is a time-consuming and laborious process. People don't like it because it's hard work, and oftentimes they don't know or understand some aspects of it. Over time, many FSBOs give up and list with an agent. A good 8x8 plan will have you foremost in the homeowner's mind when they decide to hire an agent. That's the game plan. 33, G Rivers postcard subjects: price, condition, competition, marketing, showings, price reduction, marketing for just reduced. What do I do now? To increase the number of listings he gets, Gene follows mailings with phone calls, asking how things are going and what he can do to help. Because Gene has already had contact with the prospect and positions himself as someone who has value, his calls are warm. Every time he helps, he has an opportunity to ask for their business. By the end of week 8, many FSBOs are ready to give up. That's why Gene's last postcard asks about what to do at the end of your rope. The answer is obvious: hire me. Another top agent named Courtney says sellers are generally panicked by the end of week 4. But if you're the agent who maintains consistent contact and has solutions to their problems, you should be the one that gets the listing. Number 4, set your goals. Start by tracking your numbers. After a while, you know how many calls you have to make on average to get an appointment. Eventually, you'll be able to work your numbers backward from the number of transactions you want to have in a year, which will inform how many listing agreements you should need. And before that, the number of appointments and number of calls you need to make in order to get those appointments. Be realistic about the number of calls you need to make. With experience and skill, you'll be able to make fewer calls to get the number of appointments that you want. I can't stress that enough. With experience and skill, it takes time to develop those skills. You'll be able to make fewer calls and get the number of appointments that you want. Page 34, find them. There are many ways to find people selling their houses on their own. Keep your eyes open anytime you're driving around an area, especially the farm. You don't have to be out specifically looking for FSBOs. You might notice them while you're conducting your business or family activities. Always stop and take a flyer. Gene doesn't waste any time. He knocks on the door and calls them while he's in front of the house. Other places to find FSBOs are in the newspaper, websites, etc. What I'll do is I'll whip out my phone and I just take a picture of the sign with the phone number on it, and I'll call later that day or whenever I get it on, if I do. Because I might be out on showings with somebody. Like, oh my God. And what I do is I usually then email the photo to myself. So the next time I check my email, oh yeah, okay, I remember I called this person to ask me what's going on. Organize your information on each listing. Gather all the information you need on each FSBO and have it ready before you start making calls. Get a tax sheet with MLS history and put that information to anything else you've collected, etc. If you can speak intelligently to the property, especially some specifics, you're already going to start blowing them away. It's like, okay, this person that knows what they're doing, I'm impressed. And, oh, by the way, of the 4 agent phone calls I received, Debbie's the only one that actually mentioned some specifics about their property. So she's clearly done her homework. Page 36, take action. Now that you've prepared to call the FSBO, there are 3 things you need to do. Make contact, record what happens, and get to their house. Make contact, record what happens, and get to their house. Make contact. Top agents typically make a phone call as their first contact. Other agents will show up at the door. Calling gets you the best and fastest results. Alternatives are to send something in the mail or knock on the door. Dick Dillingham talks about feeling uncomfortable calling FSBOs. When he realized he could offer assistance by sending information in the mail, it opened up a new and valuable prospecting strategy for him. When you're making phone calls, have the information on the FSBO you want in front of you. Warm up by saying some affirmations and put a sign on your door that says, hey, don't bug on the lead generator. And last but not least, just do it. Start calling and remember a few important pointers. As Diana Kokoska reminds us, come from contribution, ask how you can help, offer helpful information or items of value, ask questions and assess their concerns and needs, learn as much as you can about their situation, and be the answer to their problems. Help them formulate a game plan that will allow them to succeed. That's my go-to script. Ladies and gentlemen, the one thing that I do for you, whether you're buying, selling, investing, whatever, is I will sit down and put my expertise to work for you to help you formulate a game plan that will allow you to succeed. That's what I do. If you tell me what it is you want to do, I can tell you what you need to do to make it happen. That's the value I bring to the table. Or you're looking to sell your house and you haven't been able to sell it yet, great. I'll come on by and tell you exactly what you can do to get it sold. Then you can hire me to do it. Let's go over a script for setting an appointment. This is on page 37. Hello, this is Zach. I'm an agent with Keller Williams. I was wondering if your home is still for sale. Why, yes, it is. Great. I work with a lot of buyers and sellers in the area. I was just wondering how I could help you. Well, to be honest, I can't think of anything right now. Okay, that's fine. If I could bring you an offer that would net you the amount of money you feel you must net in order to sell your home, would you consider that offer? Well, would your offer include commission? If I bring the offer, it would. My question is, if the offer nets you the amount of money you feel you must net, would you consider it? Well, I guess so. All right, to be sure your home will fit my buyer's needs, when would be a good time to come by and preview your house? Take a look at it real quick. Well, do you already have a buyer? Sometimes I ask that. Do you already have a buyer or somebody in mind? But here's the deal, I'm not sure until I see your home. You see, I preview homes for my buyers, and I only take them to houses I know will meet their needs and wants. So until I see your house, I don't know if it will be appropriate for any of the buyers I'm working with. I like to be familiar with every home that's on the market so I can provide the best possible service to my customers. So would you like me to put your house on the list of properties that I show my buyers? Well, of course, they're going to want that, right? Because they're looking to get the sucker sold. Well, I guess that sounds okay. Terrific. When's a good time for me to come over? That's a script for setting a preview appointment. Works every time. I've done it before. Oftentimes, honestly, you can just call or email them and say, hey, I'd love to come. I'm a real estate agent. I'd love to come preview your home for sale. And they'll almost always tell you, okay, fine. Fantastic. It's that simple, honestly. I've done it just via email. Hey, I'd love to come preview your property. I maybe have some buyers that potentially be interested. Okay, come on now. Explain how you can make it a win-win relationship. Hey, I work with a lot of buyers and sellers in the area. I'm wondering how I might be able to help you. Why would you want to do that? We're selling it ourselves. Okay, I respect that. I respect you selling the home yourself. And I think there are some win-win opportunities for both of us. Number one, I might be able to find a buyer for you because I work with so many buyers in the area. Number two, I know that quite a few people will probably come to look at your house. I'd be interested in getting names and phone numbers of people who come to look, but don't make an offer on your home. In fact, I offer rewards to people who give me leads for buyers, and last, if you don't sell, we may have an opportunity to work together to get your house sold. That makes sense, doesn't it? Well, it sounds like I might be interested. Fantastic. It would be a good time to come over. I'm focusing on a win-win. How can I help you? And how can you help me?
So do people actually give you names?
It depends on them.
Yeah.
It depends on them. I mean, I would find some of usually not going to actively just do that and be super excited about it, but you know, you might find that. You know, if they're not going to buy the house, what's the harm in passing along the information? Really, you're just looking for more leads, right? Page 39, series of questions you can ask. Pages 40 and 41 have some more scripts that you can go take a peek at, familiarize yourself with. Same with 42 and 43. Take a look at these scripts, and then if you have questions or you want to tweak them or change them or you'd like to role play them, just let us know. Page 45. Try again. Agents are divided about whether or not it's the best practice to leave messages. Those who do leave messages say they want to be straightforward and communicate their desire to help. Because we know persistence is important, it's a good idea to call 3 or 4 times, to call 3 times for 3 days before giving up. Some agents try 3 times, 1 in the morning, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, noon, then leave a message. Other agents will wait and call on another day, leaving a message on your 3rd call as a way of making one more attempt to establish contact. Make sure the message gets people to call you back. Hello, this is Zach with Keller Williams. I have a few questions about your house. Please give me a call. Thank you. Short and sweet. I typically abide to the second strategy, which is I'm going to make my first couple of phone calls and not leave a message. And then if I just keep striking out, eventually I will leave a message. And you want to leave a message that's enticing, that makes them look to call you back. Hey, this is Zach over at Keller Williams. I've got some questions about your house. Or hey, I've got some buyers who might be interested in your home. Give me a call back at your earliest convenience. I just say this is Zach over at Keller Williams. I'm a real estate agent. I saw you have your home listed for sale by owner. Just thought maybe we could have a conversation about what I could do to maybe list it for you and help you get it sold. That's not terrible, but it's probably not going to be as good at eliciting a response as, hey, this is Zach, I'm a real estate agent. Have some buyers that might be interested in your property. Would love to ask you some questions about it. Probably going to get a pretty decent response because your prospect is getting sold. Number 2, record what happens. Record when you called. You can track all this in e-edge and notes. Record when you called, date, time, and what happened. Did you talk with the homeowner? What did you talk about? Did you promise to do anything? Did you set an appointment? If you didn't, what has to happen in order for you to get an appointment? If they weren't there, did you leave a message? When should you call back? Answers to these questions should be recorded in your contact management system. Number 3, go to their house. When you set an appointment, go see the home, and if possible, give your listing presentation. You really got to feel them out on that before you just launch into that, right? If you didn't get a listing agreement that day, ask for permission to keep in touch and provide information about what's happening in the market. Also, ask for referrals of buyers who don't make an offer. If you don't get an appointment when you call, drop off a for sale by owner packet or pre-listing packet for FSBOs. Courtney, an agent, has developed a good relationship with FSBOs when she drops off her FSBO basket. Some items included in the basket are aspirin, tissues, a CMA, the 24 things you need to know before you think about selling your house yourself. Courtney also includes a sweet treat, such as a pack of gum that says, choose me for all your real estate needs, or a lollipop with don't be a sucker when it comes to potential buyer demands. Additionally, Courtney may add a keychain or other items that let FSBOs know how to contact. Last but not least, follow-up. Follow-up has 4 relatively simple steps. Put all of your leads in a database with pertinent information on the action you took and what steps are next. Implement an 8x8, send a thank you note for any referrals that you get. Gift certificates are a great way to say thank you and encourage FSBOs to send you the names of buyers who do not make an offer on their home. Courtney sends Starbucks gift cards or dinner certificates when she receives names of prospects or for sale by others. She says the dinner certificates are so popular that she has had no problem getting contact information from FSBOs who have not yet decided to list her house with her. Follow up until they list or sell or die. No, just kidding. But the last one, still calling. Oh, be the last one still calling, and the listing is yours. 47, steps for working with expired withdrawn listings. Prospecting for expired listing happens in a shorter time frame than prospecting FSBOs. This can be very much more condensed. Gene Rivers says that they usually make a decision about who to list with within 24 to 48 hours. The great news is the vast majority will relist their house. Expires should be the first people you call in the morning. Remember, if you're going to prioritize expireds and FSBOs, prioritize expireds first. If you wait until the afternoon of the day they went off the market, it might be too late. Gene points out an advantage of being the first call. The homeowner is not yet annoyed about getting lots of phone calls from other agents. I know people that will call expireds and relist them that same day. That says, oh, by the way, do you think some people don't even know their home just expired off the market? Yeah. That's the easiest phone call to make. Hey, Deb, this is Zach over at Keller Williams. Just, hey, did you know your home expired off the market today? No, what are you talking about? Yeah, your home is no longer listed for sale. Would you like to get it relisted for sale? Absolutely, great. I'll be over later today. Let's make it happen. Too easy. Prepare. The 7 things you need to do to prepare to work with an expired or withdrawn listing are very similar to the things you need to prepare to work with FSBOs. There's an important additional thing you need to do for expireds, and that is check to see if they're on the do not call list. Number 1, know what you're going to say, prep your materials, create your 8x8, set your goals, find them, check the do not call list, organize your information on each listing. They're very similar. Know what you're going to say, prep the materials, create your 8x8, set your goals. Of the 10 people you talk with, 1 to 2 will be unrealistic about price. 2 to 4 will stay with their same agent. 1 to 2 will be people that don't want to do business with you, and 1 to 3 will set an appointment with you. So for every 10 you call, 1 to 3 will be actual prospects. And oh, by the way, the other ones, they're unrealistic about price, or say they don't want to do business with you, you may actually convert if you continue to follow up with them. Find them. It's pretty easy to search for homes that have expired. You can use the MLS to do so. And then you can either use the actual address to go door knock and send them something in the mail, or try to research a phone number of people that live there. Again, check the do not call list. Organize your info on each listing. Take action. Make contact. Report what happens. Go to the house. Same as FSBOs. A couple of scripts you can utilize. Hello, this is Zach. I'm looking for so-and-so. Are they available? Hello, this is Zach. I'm an agent with Keller Williams. I hope you're catching a good time. Wanted to check to see if you know your home is no longer on the market. I didn't know that. Well, my computer shows it's not on the market any longer. And since I sell a lot of homes in your area, I'm calling to see, or since my company sells a lot of homes in your area, I'm calling to see when you're planning on interviewing the best agent for the job to get your home sold.
What page is that?
This is page 51. I love that line right there. Hey, I'm calling to see when you're planning on interviewing the best agent for the job to get your home sold. Or just in general, hey, I'm just calling to see when you're going to interview, agents to get the home sold for you. That's the easiest open-ended question that you'll probably get in. Great. Well, I can come over this day and this time. Does that work for you? Look forward to applying for the job. I'm Zach. I'm a real estate agent with Keller Williams. Just want to ask, are you still interested in selling your home? Yeah. Great. I'd like to give you a package of valuable information on selling your home because I assume you have one question on your mind, which is, why hasn't my home sold? I think I can answer that for you in about 15 to 20 minutes, but I need to see your house. When can I stop by? That's a pretty good not in your face script. Hey, Heather, this is Zach over at Keller Williams. How are you? I'm doing well. Awesome. Hey, I'm just wondering if you're still looking to sell your home. But yeah, I'd like to. Awesome. Well, here's the deal. I could stop by sometime later today, spend 15, 20 minutes with it, maybe explain to you why your home didn't sell, and talk about what we could do to get it sold. Would that be of interest to you? Or would that be helpful for you? Yeah, great. All right, see you later today. Move through pages 52, 53, 54, and 55. You'll find some other additional scripts you can utilize. Practice them, utilize them, tweak them, whatever. Number 2, record what happens. Number 3, go to their house. Since we know owners of expired listings make quick decisions about relisting, you want to set an appointment to meet the person as soon as possible. Follow up. Drop off an expired packet, especially if you didn't get a chance to talk with them. Put all your leads in a database and track it. Implement the 8x8. What questions do you have about FSBOs and expireds? None? 0 questions? 0 questions. 0 questions. It is 10:45. Would you ladies be opposed to a decent chunk break, like a 15-minute break? Is that too long, or are you okay with that? Let's pick it back up at 11, make some phone calls, check some emails in the meantime, and I'll see you back here in about 15 minutes. Are you leaving?
No.
Okay, good.
Oh, I realize it's spreading hay everywhere.
Spreading what?
Slowly out of my coat and my boots. Hay. So we decided to rescue some rescue horses.
Oh, really?
Expensive little hay burners. That they are.
So how much you get the copy? Are you printing them?
No,
Oh, they're giving them to you?
yeah.
Oh, so where do you live?
We live down by the Innsboro.
Oh, so you're in here?
Well, we part-time on that.
Yeah, I know you said that.
Yeah.
So where are you? You're in Daytona?
Yep.
I just looked at West Palm Beach area. And I have friends who live for years.
We'll look back.
Yeah. About an hour.
Yeah. It's there's the Canaveral,
Yeah.
but not too much. It's expensive the farther south
Yes,
you
it
go,
does.
so.
So you're in Lanesboro now.
Kind of. We're like in between Chatfield and Andrew.
How far of a
My mom's
drive is
house.
that for you?
And the roads are. But it's kind of a gravel,
Yeah.
minimum maintenance type road, so they don't really pay attention to the
Yeah.
plowing and.
Of course,
That's why I didn't come one day, I was like, too much going on.
So is this your office that you work out of?
No, the court office. I work out of the court office. They have universal education, so if you're visiting my mom, I was like,
So how long are you
I'm
here
just
for?
till April right now, and then come back for a few months again until July, and then we'll be done.
So how's your mom? Her health?
It's
That's what you're on.
yeah. I've been slowly trying to convince her to sell and move, but
Yeah. I have a friend who we grew up in Hawaii and her dad's still alive and she's trying to get back here. So he's supposed to be coming back in May for a visit. She's hoping that the time.
yeah. I don't want to force her, I don't want her to feel pressured. I want her to think it's her own decision, so I just
Good luck
putting
with
the
that,
seed
yeah.
in the mind and, when older people get stubborn, they don't want to get up there, which I'm not even near to go into a home, just
Right,
a
right.
smaller, more manageable house. It is just her, so a big
Right,
farm.
right.
But she's going out. They do.
I think all of us that have gone through that with their parents, hopefully when we get to be older, we make better decisions.
Yeah. Yeah, she moved up with me.
Right, right. She did?
Yeah, when I graduated high
Yeah.
school, she moved out of town from her smaller house and wanted to live in the country on
Was
a
she
farm.
married then?
Nope.
No.
It was her dream to move to the country someday, like,
You're right.
and I would have been there to help you. So
Do you have
then-
siblings?
Nope.
So how'd you end up in Florida?
In 2009, we started vacationing down there. And then 2013, we were like, kind of look for a place down here, the price was
Yeah.
ridiculous cheap. And we like to take our dog.
Yeah.
We like to garden. Lived out when we went out there and we found a place. Stayed there for time, off and on. And then last year we found another. Now we actually have two down there.
What's your husband do?
He's in construction, does house flipping and roofs. We kind of fill our extra time with that.
Yeah.
He likes to work for himself, but in between working for ourselves, kind of a stickler, so both like stuff because he's very, about what he does.
Did you have any damage from the hurricane?
I did have a little damage on one house, but it was mostly like a roof,
Yeah.
and it was home. I looked out, I think there was nothing. So, although the kind of sucks because the stuff was higher.
Yeah, right.
Than regular deductible, so that ate a little bit, but we did the roof ourselves, so
Yeah.
I didn't have to pay
Yeah.
someone to do it. Although we just got back from doing that roof and the roofing. Can't wait till that goes off. We're gonna be a little hurt the way that they're having people.
Yeah.
For hurricanes, like, I mean, it still has to come off.
You know, I lived in Wellington, which is a suburb of West Palm for many years, and I had my roof redone back the year before the hurricane in 2004.
That Andrew or
No, that was like Francis
Oh,
Jean.
okay.
I was very happy that that.
Yeah. That was almost. Like pushing. Yeah. All over more than the travel in the house. Just kind of got to look at what you're going to get back out of it.
Hello.
Oh, that was the client number?
Bye-bye. What's crazy?
For the prices.
Oh, yeah.
What they're going up to.
Good news for us, right?
Mhm.
How we doing, Debbie?
I'm okay,
Good. Just okay?
just okay.
You're better than okay.
I'm just okay.
Gotta get that cancellation. Did you guys get it squared away?
She got it, okay.
What's wrong, I should say. All right, power session 9. I'm super pumped about this one. Agent to agent referrals. I'm telling you, I think this is the most underappreciated, overlooked way to build a fantastic business. What if your 20 contacts a day were literally just calling other agents and letting them know that you represent real estate transactions in Rochester? And if they have any referrals ever for Southern Minnesota, that you should be their go-to person. Before I dive into this, I'm going to do a quick overview. Were you at the team meeting yesterday?
I was not, I didn't know.
Oh,
we had
perfect. No, that's right. So this will work out both tricks. I talked about the referral network in the app and stuff. So I'll quickly go over that really fast, just to get you guys spun up on it, and then it's going to directly relate to this material if we're talking agent to agent referrals. So you have a smartphone. What you want to do, you want to go to your app store right away. You want to search for the app called Kelly. It's spelled K-E-L-L-E, and it looks like this. It's that blue turquoise KW. So go there, let me know when you found it, and then go ahead and download it, and let me know once you've downloaded it. You're gonna need to be able to have your Keller Williams username and password to log in once you've downloaded the app. For you guys watching, it's this blue turquoise app right there, KW. Go to your app store, search Kelly, K-E-L-L-E, download that sucker, and we'll go from there.
Now, this is the sign-in that we do, like on my KW.
Yep, same one, same username and password. Getting there? Check this out. So I'm in my app right now. I'm gonna hit this little speak button. Find associate Debbie Dahlgren. Debbie,
Great.
you crashed it, Debbie. This worked out just fine when I did it yesterday. Looks like I signed it. Hang on. Must have done an update. Debbie, don't swear at it.
Oh, it doesn't like.
Were you able to get yours?
I got mine up, I just have to remember.
I know how that goes. You're not the only one. That happened yesterday. Okay.
It just says that.
Find associate Debbie Dahlgren. How do you spell it? B, just B-Y, one B?
Yeah, one B, and then DAHLGREN.
Is it a username or?
No,
Nope.
Mine's D Dahlgren 1.
So now what I did is, let's say that,
I think I got it.
perfect. So I spoke into, or I typed in find associate Debbie Dahlgren, and look what it pulled up in my app for me.
Oh, yep, there I am.
It pulls you up and has all your contact information. From here, so it pulled up Debbie. From here, I can click the phone. It'll call Debbie's number that she has in the system. I can click message. It will let me text her. I can click email. It will just bring it up to email. It's pretty phenomenal. And I can click invite to my referral network. That's why this is going to be an important piece that's relevant to the agent-to-agent power session today, referrals, because you can use this to leverage your connection with agents all across the company, everywhere, to build a referral network. This app will help you do that.
That one could look like years.
Yeah, well, this is for Keller Williams agents to agents.
Right.
It helps with that.
I just mean if you were referring to someone, if someone's moving out of state.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's kind of
What's your last name?
experiment.
I'm gonna type that one.
And
How do you spell
N-I-E-R, the man. Your man.
it? Daytona Beach, Market Center, 248.
Yeah,
You need to get a profile picture. Come on.
They have one.
Come on
They
now.
were supposed to be put up there. These haven't been updated in all areas of their system.
So what I'll do, so you have your app up right now.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna invite you to my referral network, and you should get a notification. Do you have a little like alarm bell in the upper right-hand corner? Looks like a little bell.
Yeah.
Click on that sucker and see if you have any.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
There's a quick accept. If you want to, I mean, you don't have to. Did you click it already?
Adding it, I keep clicking the check mark. Then just click back.
Yeah, that's what happens to me sometimes. I'll click on it again. Oh, yep, I just popped up, right? Okay. So now you just accepted being added to my referral network.
Okay.
So, which is cool because here, the whole purpose of this is to say, Heather and I, we connected for some reason, we had a conversation. She realized, say I'm an agent in Minnesota. I realized she's an agent in Florida. we're gonna use the app to connect and add each other to our referral networks. Now, anytime I go up and I wanna try to find you to refer you business, I just come to my app or I go to my referral network and boom, I can find you. We can submit referrals through the network and track it that way, which is a pretty cool new feature. Debbie, you can go in our Facebook group, and I posted yesterday all the different links so you can watch the video and see how to do all this stuff.
Okay.
And if you shoot me an email, I can email you the links to all those videos. Okay. So here's the important thing to understand about it. You've got Kelly, which is the app on our phone, and it's tied into a couple of different things. KW Connect. So the reason you don't have a profile picture is your KW Connect profile must not have a profile picture on it yet.
I don't know why, it's been updated.
Well, they probably did. There are so many things to update, so they probably have some of your stuff.
Yeah, that's what it might take a
Yeah, you might have some of your stuff set up, but you might not have the KW Connect profile set up. So you want to go to your KW Connect profile. This is going to become an even more important profile moving forward, because this is how people are going to view you when it comes to sending you referrals. So go there, update it, add your picture, your service areas, all of the relevant information. Then you're also going to be able to go into KW Connect, click on My Referrals. It's going to open up a referral network. You can track all the agents that you have in your network. You can send them referrals. They can send you referrals. And you can track it all. You can accept the referrals in there and everything. It's awesome. Keep up to date on them. It's a really cool new feature.
Do you get anything from sending another agent without a referral?
Yeah, like 25%. 25% is kind of the going rate. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less.
Yeah.
Let's say that I knew somebody, in your area, or somebody's looking to do a transaction in your area. I'm going to call you, and this just happened to me yesterday. I'll call you and say, hey, Heather, would you take this lead? Would you service that area? Yeah, okay, great. I'm going to send you a referral form. Sign it, give it back to me. I want 25%, and then as soon as you give me that signed referral form back, I'll give you their contact info. You call and do business with them, and the understanding is I get 25% of that.
Right.
And vice versa. Zach, I have some people moving to Minnesota. Could you help them? Absolutely. I'll pay 25%.
Yeah. That's still no.
Oh, yeah. It's where are you from, Minnesota? Here?
From Rochester.
Yeah. Let us know. It's the easiest money that you'll ever make. You literally will make 25%, sometimes thousands of dollars, for simply sending an email and connecting a couple of
Yeah,
people.
that's still what people are going by all the time here.
It's the easiest and it's the best. Okay, so we're going to keep that in mind as we talk to building agent-to-agent referral network. We've got these phenomenal tools available to us. By the way, these are Keller Williams owned tools. It's not some outside third-party outsourced vendor, so you can feel free to store all your information there and make good use of it. Okay, page 6. We're talking about Mary, mega agent out of Maryland. She knew agent-to-agent referrals were a good source of business, but one that she rarely utilized. She knew that Mary Harker is the queen of agent referrals, and always used to look at her and say, what an awesome thing. We should do that. We should market to other agents, but we never did. I was doing over $1 million in GCI. It was close to home, and it was easy. All that changed for Mary in 1 year. We went out to dinner with her favorite client, did a lot of business with this transaction, or 5 deals over the last 5 years. She explained he was doing a condo thing 35 miles away. And basically she realized he was saying, hey, could you refer me to somebody? She said, I bet I could help. She checked with the team leader of the local office, put her in touch with another agent, came up with a partnership deal. They sold 26 units. She made $200,000 off that one project because she focused on agent referrals and partnering with that agent. Currently, the same client has another project in a location out of Mary's area, but she referred his last 5 listings to Keller Williams agents in the project, and she'll receive 5 referral fees of 25% when each of those units close. She's proactive about agent-to-agent referrals. As a part of her lead generating, she actively seeks out other agents to build relationships so that she can gain insight into how they work, which in turn gives her a better idea of how to match customers and agents when the opportunity arises. Pretty cool. Page 9, an untapped resource. One of the greatest sources of leads is other real estate agents. We're already in tune to it. We're communicating with people daily about real estate transactions. I can't tell you how many times I've come across somebody that needs to do a real estate transaction in an area that I don't service. So what most agents would do is, or what a lot of agents do is, I don't work that area. Why not say, oh, you know what, I don't work that area, but I can find somebody that does, or I know somebody who does, it's a phenomenal agent, let me put you in touch. Connect the dots and get yourself a referral fee. It's too easy to do.
I'm actually working on it. I didn't know I could do that.
Where are they at?
Well, they're here. They're in Minnesota.
Let's do it.
And I talked to them last week and they were like, oh, you're a Florida real estate agent now? I've been looking for a place in Florida. Can you find me some places?
There you go.
So I sent them a couple, but they're not in my area.
Okay, sure.
But I wanted to be able to refer to him when he says, yes, that's the one I like.
Yeah.
But I keep sending him one,
Oh, Senator Properties.
right, of ones he might be interested in.
What's cool about this referral network is it's tapped into a map. So if you know it's a different part of Florida, you can look in the map and see what market centers are in that area and scroll through the agents there. And oh, by the way, it shows the agent's production.
Oh,
You can see it as somebody that actually knows what they're doing or not.
sure.
So that you can go through and say, okay, this is the person I want to send it to. You can send the referral through the system and square it away. It just makes it way, because one of the, like, I would get phone calls often from people saying, Zach, I got a referral for somebody out in Maryland. Who should I refer them to?
Yeah.
Like, I don't freaking know.
Yeah.
Here's what I would do. I would Google Keller Williams, Maryland, find a market center, maybe call the team leader or just start calling agents.
But
Right
now you can,
I didn't tell them that. I would make a call for them or put them in touch. But now you have to say, use a referral network. Go to the map, find the market centers nearby, look at the agents.
so you tell them, I'll get you in contact with someone. You don't give them their phone number.
You want to tell the lead or the client, let me put you in touch with somebody. Right? Get the referral form signed first,
Right.
securing yourself the referral, and then pass along that contact information. Now pass the contact information to the other agent so they can reach out to that person.
Sure.
If I leave it just up to the person, well, who knows when and if they're going to get around to calling.
Right.
But I know that agent probably will. She has a business. Okay. Very good. Agent-to-agent referrals are gifts, yet they are one of the most overlooked and discounted of all lead generation activities. One of the striking statistics in the NAR profile of home buyers and sellers is that only 4% of buyers and 4% of sellers found their real estate agent through being referred by another agent or broker. One conclusion that can be drawn from this is that agents are not looking out for each other. NAR membership in 2014 stood out at 1.1 million agents, and every one of them is a potential source of business for you. How sellers found their agents, 38% referred by a friend or neighbor. If that's not the biggest takeaway, I don't know what is. Build a database and ask people for referrals. It's by far the biggest way people are getting put in touch with agents. Used an agent previously. Okay, so 30, 40, 50, we're into 60% now. They're either referred or using the same business. If you're building a great database in your repeat referral business, you win in a huge chunk of the pie. 5% open house. And those are the top three, and they're so easy, and they're the cheapest ones. Why are we paying Zillow thousands of dollars annually when if I just focused on these things and invested a fraction of that budget into my database, I'd be yielding much better results with a much bigger margin. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little excited here. Internet websites, personal contact with an agent, referred by another agent, 4%, almost roughly 5% of people were referred by another agent, et cetera, et cetera. Page 10. When you're not capitalizing on agent-to-agent referrals, you are leaving money on the table. Doris realizes the importance of this resource. She recently listed a house for a customer who is moving from Missouri to California. Doris referred these same customers to a buyer's agent in California. If someone calls you and asks you to list their house, never forget to ask if they need help with the purchase of their next home. This is a classic lead generation question, even if the purchase is local, and don't hesitate to inquire if you can refer them to another agent if they're going to be buying out of your area. Just by asking this one question, Doris earned more on the referral fee from California than she did on the actual listing in Missouri. You know how pricey California is?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'll take one of those referrals any day. Page 11. Why should we tap into this network? Well, whether you're giving or receiving, you pocket less commission from with an agent-to-agent referral. Whether you're giving or receiving, you pocket less commission from Mets referral. So you might ask, why bother? Well, a little bit of something is better than a whole lot of nothing. And with this mindset, those agents who have learned to profit from agent-to-agent referrals have built a business around this type of lead gen. And oh, by the way, if you're good about sending out referrals to agents, what do you think you might request of them as well? hey Heather, I got these people down in Florida. I'm gonna send them your way for a referral. By the way, if you ever get any Minnesota people, you know who to call, right?
Sure.
It's a win-win. I win because I'm getting a referral fee. That's awesome. And I'm doing what I would do normally with any of my contacts. I'm saying, by the way, if you come across anybody else looking to buy or sell in Minnesota, send them my way. I'm your Minnesota man, right? Giving and receiving referrals. These are some of the best leads out there. A referral from another agent is almost always a hot lead, meaning that customer is in the market for an agent right now. And they probably haven't been, intercepted by any other agents. However, even if it's simply warm, the customer's already contacting the agent because he or she's thinking of buying or selling, it still takes less time than cold prospecting. You're getting the business in the high pay, almost no prospecting ever. Additionally, once you've built your solid relationship with other agents or learn how to identify an agent quickly when needed, giving a referral requires next to nothing regarding your time and your money. And here's the deal. I've only ever, my wife has only ever run into one agent that said she would not pay a referral fee. Really? In Florida, yeah. This older lady who was Century 21 out in Peoria or Kewanee, Illinois. My wife's grandmother needed to sell her home, and so we said, great, we'll let us help you connect with an agent out there so that we can get a referral. Let your family members know if they don't live near you that anytime they go to do a real estate transaction, you should be their first call so you can put them in touch and get a referral fee. Let them know that. Don't blame them for doing it without telling you unless you coach them to do that, right? Tell them to do that. Tell everybody to do that, right? So that being said, we called this lady and she said, well, no, I don't do referral fees. I said, okay, cool. We called somebody else. Lady said, yeah, I'll do a referral fee. Who wouldn't? Just joking, she didn't say that. She said, yeah, I'll do a referral fee. Listed it, sold it immediately, sold multiples. Guess who one of the other offers was from?
From that lady.
From the lady we tried to refer to the first time. Guess who didn't get it? Her buyers. Not because we were, wanting to be mean. I mean, the other agent was handling the transaction. They just didn't have the best offer. But imagine if she had been willing to say, yeah, of course, it's a smart business decision. I'll take the referral. I'll pay a 25% referral fee. She would have secured the listing, already had the buyer. She likely could have brought that deal together. It just floors me. It floors me. Focus on the bigger picture. Page 12, which do you prefer, giving or receiving the referral? Now I'll tell you, I'll do either one. Let's look at the pros and cons of both. Pros of receiving referrals. You receive a ready customer. You earn 70 to 85% of the commission. The customer is well served by you. They become a mint, and you have the opportunity to win all the customers' repeat and referral business. This is huge. There was a guy 2 or 3 years ago. I was not in an office team leader position at the time. I was running my agent business with my wife Carly and our assistant. And there was a guy out of, I think, the Northwest Keller Williams Twin Cities, or Northwest office of the Twin Cities, and I'm down in the South Metro. And this guy, phenomenal agent, his people, I think I had a mutual connection to him, and he was looking for an agent, Keller Williams agent, to refer business to you in the South Metro. It's like, hey man, I don't even think we ever dealt with him. It was just like his assistant. She's like, hey, this guy's too busy. He can't do deals down in the South Metro. He's overflowing. We're looking at hiring buyer's agents. In the meantime, would you guys be interested in a referral? Absolutely. Took the referral. It was a great referral. We serviced it at a high level. He sent another one. He sent another one. I think he sent a total of 3 in 1 year. We closed all 3 of them, and 2 of the 3 have already listed and sold with us again. My God, if you don't focus on referrals, you're crazy. That's huge. Because now they're in our data, they come to our client events, they're in our database, they're getting our marketing. We're going to get the repeat referral business. It's phenomenal. So don't let a 25% referral fee stand in your way of securing some business, and more importantly, that invaluable relationship that you're going to have moving forward. One of them's a doctor, for crying out loud. Love it. The agent may continue to refer you if all parties are satisfied, validity already established with the customer because of the referral. There are, of course, some, the con, you pay a referral fee. I don't even know if that's really a con, to be honest with you. It's just a cost of your business. There are, of course, some responsibilities associated with accepting the referrals. You receive responsibilities to the customer as well as to the referring agent. If you accept referrals, you must respond to the customer immediately. Love to work with clients. Want to provide solutions with as well as an awesome experience. Be committed to and capable of working with the referred customer. Know the city and the area. Know builders. Be patient. Stay current in market. Educate buyers. Here's an important one. I'd start and circle it. Communicate with the referring agent regularly, and always, always, always pay the referral fee. Have integrity. That's why a referral form should be signed off on. I would take number 10. Now I'd move it to number 1. If you want to stay in constant communication with the agent that you referred to. The beauty of the referral network is it allows you to do it all within the same system. It keeps it easy. It's easy to track, right? Versus back in the day, it was, well, however you're tracking it, it's how you're tracking it. I don't even know if we're tracking it, right? So use that network, leverage it. It's an amazing tool. 13. Now let's look at the pros and cons of giving a referral. You receive 15 to 30% referral fee. You choose the agent. Your customer is served by a well-qualified, well-matched agent, and the agent may reciprocate referrals to you as a thank you. The con: you may lose the customer's repeat referral business. I once had a lady, she's out of Keller Williams Woodbury, and she knew that we were in the South Metro, and there was somebody looking like a little further south. Like she's like, hey, I'm out of Woodbury. I don't want to deal with this one looking way south. But she said to me, I want to refer it to you, but I want to retain them for my database. She was basically telling me, I want to refer this deal to you. I want 25%, but when they close, I'm asking you as a professional courtesy, do not continue marketing to them after that. I said, of course. I get that. I'll do that. That makes sense for me. And appreciate you telling me that on the front end, right? We'll help you with the transaction, and if you want to maintain that relationship, that's awesome. I will provide you the professional courtesy and do that. That's a win-win, because I still want you to send me referrals, right? She's the only person that's ever done that. I thought that was very interesting. There are also certain responsibilities that go along with referring a customer to another agent, so don't do it without thought or careful planning. Thoroughly interview the customer to understand their needs. Don't take these referrals for granted. They should be given immediate priority, and they should be given overwhelming customer service. What happens with agents a lot of times is once we think in our minds that a piece of business is a sure bet, sometimes we don't treat it the way we should because, oh, we've got that one locked up. We can get back to that one later. I'm going to focus on something else. No, the immediate sure bets need to be moved to the front of the line and showered with overwhelming customer service because you want to lock down, secure that business, make sure they have a phenomenal experience so they do repeat referral business with you as well. That was a big change for me as I would say, okay, I've kind of got that one spoken for, so I will get around to that one when I get to it. I've got it on deck. Let me focus on some of this stuff. No, move this guy, make him a priority, focus, double down on your sure business. And then get around to the other stuff. Or have somebody else focus on it if you can hire somebody. Interview, I think I just showed all that. Oh no. Thoroughly interview the customer to get their needs, then interview one or more agents. Sometimes what I'll do, because if you don't already know the agent and you're making a referral, you're like, well, I don't want to refer them to a crappy agent, I don't know. So what I'll do is I will try to find 2 to 3, and I'll say, here's the deal, Debbie. I found 2 to 3 great agents in that area. Here's all their information. I'm going to sign a referral agreement with all of them. And I'm going to let all of them know, hey, I'm giving her a few names. The client's going to call you and interview you, and if they choose you, I want the referral. The same thing I do with lenders or home inspectors or whatever, right? Title companies. Debbie, here are 3 agents in the area that all do a phenomenal job.
So will they all be Keller Williams
They
agents?
don't have to be. If Keller Williams is in the area, if Keller Williams agents service the area, I will use Keller Williams agents. But we're not everywhere.
No.
For example, there's not a Keller Williams in Kewanee, Illinois. There's one in Peoria, but not Kewanee. So we refer to a Century 21 agent. That's fine. An agent's an agent. I don't care what company you're at.
So
I have
you get
a preference.
referral fees from Century 21?
Yes, great question. You get any agent, anywhere, any company can do referrals. I've received referrals from agents from other companies. I've received referrals from agents out of Remax. Right? They don't care. Don't limit your marketing to other agents to simply Keller Williams agents. You need to tell everybody that they can refer to you no matter where you are. Great point. Yeah, obviously we kind of prefer that you refer to Keller Williams agents. So if there are no Keller Williams agents there, just find an agent that is there and refer to. For example, this isn't a true statement right now because we just brought a lady on, but there's no Keller Williams office in Mankato, Minnesota. So do you have a likelihood of maybe coming across somebody that would need a referral to Mankato? Yeah. So you're calling a Remax, or you're calling a Century 21, or you're calling a Coldwell, and you would refer. That's okay. But guess what? Now we do have a Keller Williams agent out there that's associated with our office here. So I would recommend you refer to her. Soon to have another one next month. I'd recommend you refer to them.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. Clearly communicate to the agent the level and type of service you expect for your customer. Give a little bit of background on the customer if you think it's wise. Follow up with the customer, ensure proper service, etc., etc. There's a big difference. And I would love to know whether or not this is the case. Because some agents will stumble across a lead, or something, and they'll try to pass it off as a referral, but it's not really a referral. I mean, you found me. Yeah, it's a lead, right? So be upfront about it. And our coach, the coach is Carly and her team. She basically says, if somebody's just going to send me a lead, no, I'm not going to pay more referral fee for it. If you want to send me a referral, a warm, teed up lead or prospect, I'll do a referral fee. But if you're just printing off a list of for sale by owners in the area and sending them to me saying, hey, these people you should call because they're looking to sell, that's not a referral.
So I had met somebody at the last poll, and she had given, her name's Beth.
Beth Riley?
Yes.
Love her to death. She's awesome.
So she had given me a referral on one of our script phone calls.
Cool.
So I called that lady, and she's renting an apartment.
In Rochester?
Yep.
Look at this. It
So
works.
she buys something in a year or so, then I would give Beth a referral fee, or is that just a lead?
No, if Beth puts you in touch with her, that's a referral. Now, what I would recommend you guys do is lock down a specific referral agreement. I'm assuming that you want to. Here's what I would do. This would be kind of cool. I'd call Beth today.
Yeah.
Say, Beth, in our office, we just learned about the cool referral network that we have on our dashboard. Will you send me the referral through the referral dashboard? And let's try it out. Let's use the system on this one and see how it works. And oh, by the way, do you have it open on your phone real quick? Can I see your phone?
I can't get into it.
Oh.
Wait, let me try again.
Cool. Here's what I would do. Find associate Beth Riley.
The server cannot. Please check.
Riley. Is it Apple?
Yeah.
Okay, double click your thing here. And then try again, double click. Okay, open it up again. Try your login. We'll try again later. Afterward, let's hop on to the desktop
Okay.
version for you. We'll find her in there, and you guys can send the referral that way, right? And here's the deal: sometimes you send referrals, and they don't always turn into something, but they're certainly worth the effort, right? And this will allow you guys to traffic and everything too. So, highly recommend. Page 14. Dependent people need others to get what they want. Independent people can get what they want through their own efforts. Interdependent people combine their own efforts with the efforts of others to achieve their greatest success. A win-win relationship. A side benefit of having agents in your contact database for the purpose of referrals is that you may develop valuable lifelong relationships with these agents. These are colleagues who will always be available to you to discuss issues, challenges, opportunities, and new ideas in your profession. Make it a point to add agents to your database and treat those agents as you do other vets. meaning market to them, stay in touch with them, call them. Number 3, protection of agents' interests. There's something else to consider if you do not stay in touch with other agents, and it affects the entire real estate industry. A large third-party lead generation industry has sprung up in recent years, places like Referral Exchange, for example. These non-value added lead generator companies are capturing these orphan prospects, people who are not already attached to a real estate professional, and selling them back to the real estate industry for a fee. These companies don't care about the quality of the agent they're referring, or even if it's a good match. Buyers and sellers are easily persuaded by fancy television ads or websites that promise the best deals. The cold hard truth is that if all agents followed up, all buyers and all sellers would already have an agent. Think about that. That's an interesting statement to make. If all agents followed up, or prospected, all buyers and sellers would already have an agent. It's true. Reap the rewards, page 15. When you refer a customer to another agent, you can expect to net between 15 to 30% of any commission that's paid. 25% is a pretty standard going rate. And when another agent refers you to a customer, your rate can be 70 to 85% of the commission, or whatever negotiated. Agent-to-agent referral lead generation requires only that you make a concerted effort to meet new agents locally and from out of town and establish relationships with them, also aiming to become the first agent they think of for your city or your local area. Go into things like family reunion, Mega Camp, Mastermind, Bold. That's where it happens. And Debbie, if I bring up referrals and Bold again in a big setting, will you remind me of that story with Beth?
Sure.
So I can tell people, because you came up to the Burnsville Bold, that's where it's happening again, and people are already complaining, oh my God, there's something in the Twin Cities. Yes, go there. Spend 7 days in an office of agents that have the ability to send you referrals. That's a no-brainer. Quit your whining. Just kidding. Not kidding about whining. This graph, the graph below on page 15, shows both sides of the business, the giving and the accepting of referrals, along with the effort and the payoff for each. You can see that you have increased effort when you accept referrals, but the commission is increased as well. When you give referrals, the referral fee you receive is pure net, because there usually aren't any expenses incurred. 20% of something is better than 100% of nothing. Number 5, but wait, there's more. Below are a few more reasons to tap into agent referrals as a way to grow your business. Real estate agents are plentiful and readily available. As of 2014, there are 1.1 million realtors associated with NAR. I guarantee you that number is probably closer to, I don't know, it's huge now, but that was in 14. I teach at a pre-licensing school. Our classes are full with new people getting into business daily. That's just in Minnesota. Number 2, agents get it. They already understand the benefits of referring. Number 3, provide an additional reason for attending education, networking, and community events. Number 4, opportunity to develop long-term relationships with agents around the country. Stop and reflect for a moment. Can you think of any additional reasons why you should be tapping into agent referrals as part of your 3-hour daily lead generation habit? Yes. The potential to grow your database. I would have a separate database. I'd have my normal database, and I'd have my real estate agent database. And I'd hit them both hard. Page 17, getting started. Now that you've learned numerous reasons why you should integrate agent-to-agent referrals into your lead generation habits, where do you begin? Mindset and mind share. When you think of your business, who do you think of first? Sellers, buyers, agents? Probably not agents, at least not first. Agents both locally and from other parts of the country and the world can be lucrative business partners, even those from other companies. Even those from other companies. Think of them as assets to your business rather than competitors. To be remembered, be memorable. How would you like your phone to ring with a steady stream of warm and hot leads? This can be your reality if you learn to work, agent-to-agent referrals. Your goal is for other agents to remember you and call you with customers. It's not who you know, it's who knows you. In return, you'll gladly accept business and pay a referral fee back. Think of other agents as prospects or conduits for referral business. Referrals will come from agents you know and agents you will meet. Your goal should be to make sure you are top of mind with agents so they think of you first when they need to refer. You are competing with other agents for their attention, and you should be constantly thinking of creative ways to stand out, be different, and be remembered. How do you achieve top of mind status in the minds of other agents? You make sure agents know a few things about you that help you stand out from everybody else. You not only control who you meet, how often you stay in contact, and the direction of the relationship, but also how you're remembered. So what I would do is I would come up with a catchy phrase or slogan that helps people easily associate me with a particular area. I use the one I would use earlier. Hey, call me, I'm your Minnesota man. I'm your Rochester realtor. I'm your Twin Cities team. You know, hit them with that message over and over and over again to help them easily remember and think of Zach. Oh yeah, Zach, he's a Minnesota man. That's the guy. If I have any Minnesota referrals, that's the guy I need to contact. Zach, oh yeah, he's my Rochester realtor. Anytime I hear somebody with Rochester, Zach Rochester realtor, that's who I need to call. Page 19, screen and qualify. To maintain a healthy business relationship with other agents, you must reciprocate, when possible, with referrals to those agents who you refer. When reciprocating, you may feel a loss of control because you are turning a customer over. In addition, how well the agent performs reflects back on you, and this may be a source of anxiety. Don't even worry about it. You can mitigate a lot of that by pre-screening or qualifying these agents. You can minimize the risk of lost credibility by searching for like-minded agents who have pre-qualified, etc. You want to find agents who care about the customer first. I, as a team leader, will sometimes get calls from agents out of state saying, hey, I have a referral for an area. They'll ask me questions like this. Who's an agent I can refer to that is an experienced team, that's a member of the ALC, that's been to Bold? These are some of the things that people use to qualify the agents they're referring to.
So who do you refer to in our office?
We've got an agent on-call list. That's a go-to that I utilize unless somebody gives me additional criteria. And I have to take that criteria into consideration like that. When you refer a customer to another agent, you want to make sure he or she is going to receive service that is as good as, if not better than, the service you would give a customer. How do you find out if another agent will live up to your expectations? You've already decided what makes you top of mind to other agents, and identify what keeps other agents top of mind with you. Below are some specific questions you might ask. What do you love about what you do? What do you like better, listing or buying? You've been in business, what's your area of expertise? What areas do you serve, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Do you pay a referral? Page 21. Mary out of Maryland. Oh, that's an easy one. Mary, send me your Maryland referrals. Is very conscientious when she refers a customer to another agent. One of her strategies is referring to an agent she may not have worked with in the past. If she's referring to an agent she has not worked with in the past, is to first talk with the team leader at the office. By taking this extra step, she can get the team leader's thoughts on which agent might be a better fit for each referral. When Mary had to refer one of her most important customers, her parents, to another agent, she called the team leader out of the Keller Williams office in Florida. Mary told the team leader, hey, my parents are in their 80s. Let me tell you a little bit about the way my dad is, his personality. Who is it that you think would be a fit to work with him? Team leader recommended a particular agent. According to Mary, my parents think she's just like their third daughter now. They love her, blah, 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 blah. Know when to refer. Now that you have a clear picture of what qualities are important to agents you refer to, you are now ready to look at when to refer customers to them. You will also list some examples. When your customer has a buy and a sell and one of the transactions is out of town or out of your service area, when the customer wants to buy or sell outside your geographic area, it should be better handled by another agent. When an agent refers to you and you are not the right fit for the customer, then you refer to another agent. Okay. Only you can determine whether or not it makes sense to refer or not. Don't let anybody tell you, oh, you have to refer that business. No, you don't have to. If it's in another state where you're not licensed, okay, you probably got to refer that business. But if it's 30 to 45 minutes away and you still want to service that business, by all means, go service it. Go after it. Don't let somebody else tell you, oh, have you ever sold any homes in Castle? No, but this very well might be the first one. That's okay. The typical home buyer buys 12 miles away from his or her previous residence. That's interesting. I probably got about 3 or 4 miles away from my previous residence. Know your bounds. That is when you will refer a customer who is outside your geographic farm, even when it's within town, if it's within town. I don't think the same thing else about that. Page 23. Begin developing relationships with other agents by finding out where people who move into your area are coming from. If you're in a rural area near a large city, you may find that much of the home buying in your area is being done by residents of that particular city. Check with the Chamber of Commerce or with NAR to find out where the largest group of newcomers are coming from. Once you're clear about when to refer and to whom, you will begin to develop win-win relationships with other agents. These agents can be experienced or new. The downside of only going after experienced agents is they may already have strong referral ties with other agents. It may be hard to get top of mind with. On the other hand, experienced agents know their product and have strong reputations with customers and other agents. Here's the story on experienced agents. Some of them, like me, if you send us a referral, man, that triggers the system. It triggers immediate contact, immediate follow-up, immediate tracking. None of it's done by me. None of it's usually done by Carly. It goes to Kelly immediately. Kelly, boom, we need to populate a referral form, get it sent over to the agent, and then make immediate contact with the referral. Oh, by the way, that's how I ensure I get even more referrals from that person, and then we convert that lead, right? It's instantaneous. Other agents are maybe so experienced or they're so busy that they're disorganized. And that referral might come in, and they may or may not get around to it right away or ever. So you want to watch that, and that's why I say it's important to have that follow-up. If I refer you somebody within 24 hours, if you haven't told me that you made contact, oh, by the way, if you refer somebody, you won't have to ask us if we made contact or not. We will let you know before you even have a chance to ask. Usually it sounds like they'll say, Heather, thank you so much for putting this in touch with John. We've already called him. We have an appointment set up on Thursday. Thank you so much for thinking of us. What do you think that agent's takeaway is? Holy crap, if I ever have any more referrals from that area, it's going to that team. I can dig it. If you don't get a phone call or an email like that, what do you think you should do as the referring agent?
Call them.
Yeah, hey Heather, this is Zach. I just want to make sure you had a chance to follow up with John, who I sent you a couple days ago. Oh, I've been meaning to give him a call. Oh my God. Right? Well, hey, thanks, Zach. Appreciate you calling. I have an appointment scheduled with him later this week. Sorry I didn't let you know sooner. Or hey, I called him, had to leave a voicemail, still haven't been able to get in touch with him. I'm trying him repeatedly. I'll let you know when I'm able to make contact. Or here's the deal. If Debbie, you send me a referral, I call right away. I don't get them. I'm gonna come back and say, Debbie, I've tried 3 times. I can't get them. Is there anything you can do on your end to help me get in touch? Right? You gotta have that make it happen attitude. Okay. It may be easy. So that what I meant to say there is sometimes referring to experienced agents isn't always a no-brainer, right? You want to make sure the customer service is there, and also meaning lesser experienced or newer agents could be great referral sources too. That referral might get their undivided attention. That's fantastic. It may be easy to connect with new agents who don't have many acquaintances or relationships yet. You help the new agent now with the referral, and they may be a referral source for you for life. Before giving them the referral, though, make sure the agent reflects your same values and expectations and will treat the customer as you would. Fee negotiation and referral agreements. Both giving and receiving a referral, when both giving and receiving a referral, you should negotiate the referral fee up front. Setting expectations immediately avoids any misunderstandings later. Referral fees are negotiable, with an average ranging anywhere from 15 to 35%. Some factors can affect that rate. If market conditions, multiple sales or listings, price range, etc., etc. When we talk about agent-to-agent referrals, it's assumed that the payment of the referral fees will be done by and through the brokers involved. That's the way that it should be done. The usual procedure is that the agent in one Keller Williams Market Center makes a referral directly to another. Once there is a verbal agreement to handle the referral and pay a fee, a referral form is completed and signed by both parties. This form should be completed, stored in Dotloop. We have a whole file in Dotloop just called referrals. That's how we've used to track them. Well, guess what we're going to use now? We're going to use the referral network to track, but we'll still store the signed forms in a loop somewhere. Loop might say 2017 referrals. It might say 2017 incoming referrals, 2017 outgoing referrals. We're tracking both in there, right? That referral form will get added to the loop of the transaction when there's a pending property. Page 25. Myth. I don't need to actively prospect or market to real estate agents. Well, here is the truth. It would be wise to regularly add to and contact agents in your database to reap the rewards of referrals. Cultivate your agent farm. There's some agent, Keller Williams agent out of Chicago, that I think almost monthly, I'm on his email list. He somehow snagged my email address. He emails me like once a month or once a quarter saying, hey, I'm your Chicago dude. Okay. I don't know his name off the top of my head, but if I had a referral drop in my lap for Chicago, I would probably go into my inbox and search Chicago, find his email, and put him in touch. Because he's the only person I know. He's made it easy for me to do that, right? So think about it that way. Cultivate your agent farm. Basically, just think about who you can start building your agent network with. Agent referral network with, market to them consistently, and be specific in your message. On average, people know approximately 200 other people. Conversely, because of networking and being in the sales business, real estate agents should know more than the average person, as many as 300 to 400. By connecting with more agents through prospecting and marketing, you are potentially connecting with the people they know, and it grows exponentially from there. Page 26, at this stage in your real estate career, your lead generation activities should be prospecting based and marketing based. Meaning the majority of your relationship building activities with other agents should include a variety of prospecting methods. With that said, how do you begin to sift through the more than 1.3 million realtors nationwide to find those you want to build relationships with? One approach is to put yourself in places where agents are, and where you can get to know them to determine if they match your values. Meet them at events. Myth. Attending events takes time away from my business. Truth. Actually, it's a smart business decision because you have an opportunity to enhance relationships and increase referrals. We're talking education events and stuff like that. Go there. It's worth your time already. Network while you're there. And oh, by the way, it's a business expense. Give me a break. Attend events with a purpose. You know who attends events with a purpose? Her name is Nellie Dettinger. Call her and ask her, what do you do when you go to an event? That lady came back with so much stuff from Penn Marion, I don't even know where to begin. That's what I'm talking about. Know ahead of time who you want to meet. Your goal is to increase your referral base. So you want to collect information on as many agents as possible, make a positive impression with all. Avoid sitting or mingling with people you already know. I'm so guilty of that. That's what I'll do every time I know these people. Branch out, get out of the box, volunteer at events, ask for visible positions such as the information desk ask for visible positions. When you have a mindset that every activity you engage in is for a purpose, you will achieve that purpose. It just brings you focus. Page 27. Mary out of Dallas, Texas has capitalized on agent-to-agent lead generating at events, and it has become a very lucrative part of her business. She talks of one event in particular. I met a guy named Bob when I went to the lunchroom where everybody was having box lunches. I picked a table where I knew no one, which is my style of doing things. She is from Dallas, Texas, after all. Bob and I got to talking and exchanging marketing ideas. It wasn't a week later that he called with a referral and asked if I could take care of his customer, and I said, absolutely. Bob was so pleased with the service I provided to his referral, he immediately referred another customer to me. I ended up handling 35 referrals for him in the next 3 years, all from a box lunch conversation. Okay, so that's almost 10, that's a little over 10 referrals a year for 3 years. That's business changing. Let's say she made $5,000 for each of those referrals, which is probably less knowing the market in Dallas, Texas. What's 5,000 times 35?
150.
6 figures.
Yep.
Because she had lunch with somebody she didn't know. My God, when's that gonna happen to me? That's awesome. But this is her mindset. That's her focus. Her focus is, hey, I'm gonna meet new people and strike up referral relationships. Keller Williams offers several events throughout the year where you can mix, mingle, etc. I already kind of talked about that. Exchanging business cards is fine, but always make sure you get their card. It allows you to be in a power position. You now control, okay, here's what we're using now. We're using your app and you're using Keller. You meet a Keller Williams agent at an event, you send them an invite to be a part of your referral network. Boom, now you don't have to do the whole business card thing. If you're anything like me, you come back from these events, you get 25 business cards, they sit somewhere, they eventually end up in the trash and be useless, right? Use the referral network. Market after the event. Once you collect their contact info and enter them into your database, ideally under a category you've established for agents that you're trying to build referral relationships with, be sure to maintain systematic contact with them. This is where your prospecting-based lead generation segues into marketing enhancement. Page 28. We are constantly amazed at the quantity and quality of leads and referrals we receive from our Met group. When marketing to your agent farm, you might consider using an 8x8 and the 33 touch programs. Think about personalizing these programs for this group. Make sure your message conveys how you can best meet their needs. After an event, some agents in Missouri immediately put agents on 8x8 plans, sending them an introduction letter and giving them permission to use any material he sends from that point on. By doing this, he gives them something of value, increasing his chances of being remembered and contacted for referrals in the future. Remember, making contact first keeps you in the power of position, which means you will control whether you get referrals or not. Prospecting, leverage your out-of-area bets. Some of your customers are going to be all over the country or the world. Make sure that they know no matter where they are, they can put people in touch with you to help them with their real estate needs, whether it's you referring and putting them in touch with a great agent in an area, or if they're coming and moving back into your service area. Coach your people and let them know, hey, if you come across anybody with a real estate need, I should be your first phone call, and here's why. Even if they're not buying where I do business, I can put them in touch with a great agent to make sure that they're well taken care of. That's huge. Myth, people who know you don't have to be reminded that you're in the real estate business. The truth, yes I do. People who know you and trust you are the most important group with whom to maintain regular contact with and remind that you are in the real estate business. Make sure you develop your KW Connect profile, make it robust, make sure your contact information is on there. Page 33, the biggest mistake people make is that they get some things going and then they stop. Myth, it costs too much to stay in touch with a large database of agents. Truth, it costs too much not to. It's free if you use email to do it. This costs you time. Page 35. Now that you understand more about agent-to-agent referrals and how they can be a lucrative part of your real estate business requiring only a small investment with a big return, what are you waiting for? Stop leaving money on the table and make connecting with other agents a part of your lead generation habit. One of your goals in real estate should be to offer the best customer service that you can. By incorporating this piece of lead gen into your business, you're well on your way to being the best real estate agent your customers will ever know. Questions, comments, concerns, feedback. Any takeaways from that session?
We need to get in contact with a lot of brokers and realtors out there.
Work your agent connections. You guys.
Hey,
there you go. Particularly in Rochester, because north of you've got how many
I know
twins?
a lot. I bet I'm a Rochester native.
Absolutely.
I know a lot.
Yeah, and north of here, you've got no shortage of Keller Williams agents that can refer the crap out of Rochester.
And some people too.
There you go. Well, yeah, team luck it up. Just kidding. All right, thanks. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
How do you add someone again to that? You put the
So you want to search your name.